we are obsessed with self-improvement. I'm not sure how many billions of dollars of an industry it is, but it's a lot. There's so many books out there about just how you can supposedly make your life better, about how you can be better, or almost as if you should be better. There's so many things that you should be doing, whether it's stopping drinking, getting in shape, exercising, meditating, clearing up your skin, going to a therapist, getting the promotion. There's just this never ending list of things to do that you're pressured to do to be better, to improve. When is it enough? When are you enough? Because that's really the premise of self improvement and why it's just such a passive industry is because it feeds on this message, this belief, this story that so many of us have been told, have lived our lives by, that as we are, we're not enough. That if we want to be enough, that if we want to be loved, if we want to be connected, we've got to be fit, we've got to be pretty and handsome, we've got to be super confident, we've got to have our shit together, we've got to be disciplined and take cold showers and meditate and journal and do every fucking thing imaginable. And just maybe, will be enough. Will be perfect, and the self-improvement journey finally ends. But that's not how it works. Because if you've been carrying the story that you're not enough, self-improvement won't change that. All it'll do is reinforce, perpetuate the story you're not enough. Because I think we go into self-improvement with the assumption that once we're a certain way, once we're a certain someone, right? When we're the confident, when we're the fit, the healthy, the emotionally attuned version of ourselves, then life will be good. We'll be good. And every moment until then, we're not. The thing is, when you do all this improving, all this efforting to be someone, and when things don't work out because life doesn't work out. Life ebbs, life flows. It's never going to be sunshine and clear skies every day. There's going to be overcast days, there's going to be rainy days, there's going to be really shitty days. And despite all the improving you've done, they're still going to be there. And you'll question, how is life still like this? How am I still suffering? How am I still just fed up and frustrated and feeling like something is missing despite the fact I've done all this stuff to seemingly ward off that message that I'm not enough? Because that's the thing with self improvement, it feeds off of this inkling of a feeling that something is off, that as I am, I'm not okay. I need to be doing something. I need to be someone in order to validate and be worthy of existing in this life, of belonging, of being loved. Yeah. But if you really take a moment, right here, right now, take an inhale, an exhale. In this moment, what's wrong with you? Is there anything that you can find that's wrong with you? So in this moment, when you're here, now, fully present and engaged with life, there is no thought, there is no story of, I'm not enough, I'm unworthy. I need to do this and do that and do that. That only happens when you get stuck in your head, because that's where all these narratives and beliefs and patterned and conditioned behaviors and ways of being take place. We live in our heads. We live to these stories, these messages we've gotten from everyone, whether it be family, friends, society, that we need to be constantly improving, that we need to be constantly working and efforting towards something, towards some future version of ourselves, at which point we'll finally be perfect and enough, beautiful, perfect. The list goes on. But you never quite get there, do you? You never quite get there because you're running from the very thing that is you. That core wound that you received when you were young that is leading you to believe you're imperfect, that you're not worthy of love, you're not beautiful as you are, is what drives the self improvement. And until you sit with that wound, you really be with it, nothing changes. Continue to self improve, to work toward better, running away from yourself, running away from the truth that as you are in this moment, and every moment that unfolds after, you are enough. There's a different paradigm that I've really deepened into and that reflects my own journey the last few years, and it's called self-unfoldment. Self-unfoldment is really just nature. Mother Nature, our nature. So if you look at nature, at every point along the way of evolution, nature is perfect. The acorn is perfect. The sapling is perfect. The oak tree that is hundreds of years old is perfect. At every moment in its evolution, perfection, beauty, potential is embedded, is innate in its nature. You don't look at an acorn and say, wow, that's a really, really ugly, just not enough acorn. That oak tree could really be a lot better. That kitten could really be a lot cuter. We don't say those things. And sure enough, those beings aren't thinking those things. But the blessing and curse of being human is that we have a conscious mind that allows us to be self-conscious and allows us to compare, to analyze, to see higher and lower, better and worse, and all of that. And we are self-conscious. We see some idealized version of ourselves that doesn't exist, that supposedly we can get to through improving and all that, when in reality, we're perfect as we are. And it's our mind that leads us to believe in some way that we are separate from nature, that nature and us are not the same or not one, which is just ridiculous. But that's what the mind does. But really, life is unfolding. Nature's unfolding. You are unfolding. Because if you reflect on every moment along the journey that brought you here now, were you not able to evolve just simply by being? You didn't have to consciously make every minute decision to plan this trajectory course towards now. Life unfolded, you unfolded, and as much as there were difficulties, there were struggles, there were really shitty moments, days, weeks, years, stretches of life, and maybe even right now, you've still found a way to evolve, transform, without really needing to do a thing. I think a lot of people are afraid of accepting this truth because they're afraid that they'll suddenly not be ambitious, they'll suddenly veg out on the couch and not really do anything. They're not going to get anything done. But that's just not the case. Life still happens. You still happen. It's not like you just suddenly stop wanting to do anything. What changes is the place you're doing it from. You go from doing it from a place of lack to a place of enoughness, perfection, of beauty, of acceptance, really. That's what it is. When you accept yourself as you are, perfect, beautiful, and good as your nature, how much different is life when you experience it, when you experience yourself that way, when you go and do things, whatever it may be. And it could still be something that falls under self-improvement, working out, studying, reading, whatever, but you're not doing it as if there's a place to get to, as if there's this timeline or endpoint that you need to reach before you hit your deathbed so you can be perfect and good and know that you were in this lifetime. There's a quote by Suzuki Roshi that goes, "Each of you is perfect the way you are, and you can use a little improvement." Stuff still happens, improvement still happens, but it's in service of beauty, perfection, goodness, nature, whatever. It's not in spite of, it's not in lack of. And I guess like the funny part about all of this is that, at least in my own experience, I find that self-improvement is a very necessary step along the way. Because you have to go through this chapter where you really do believe that you're not enough. That you believe that by doing all these things, by creating this idealized version of yourself that is not really you, and having that fall apart when shit still doesn't work out, you realize that, huh, this model doesn't really work. The self-improvement model doesn't really work. Despite all the improvement I've done, I'm still anxious. I'm still feeling insecure. I'm still feeling like something is missing. I'm still feeling like something is off. And when you really get to the depths of that, there's an opening. Once that opens, you start moving towards self-unfolding, self-acceptance. So, you might be in this chapter of self-improvement right now, and I encourage you to really stay with it. Ride it out as long as you need to, which no one can really tell you. I can't tell you. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, society can't tell you. Only you have your own course in this life. Only you have your own story that is meant to unfold in its own unique way. And just trust that it will. Even if it means efforting and improving yourself for years after this, just trusting that at some point things will take a turn. Realizing that you didn't have to do all that to be perfect, to be enough, beautiful as you are. From there, life unfolds. Life happens. You happen. So, with that, I appreciate you. If you want to hear more or ask about self-unfolding paradigm, then please let me know. I'd be more than happy to share my thoughts or my experiences. But until then, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you, and have a lovely rest of your day.